Hello, today we're going to be doing a deep dive into the Dutch test yet again and see how it can help people with fertility issues, perimenopause, menopause, and adrenal fatigue. I'm your patient care coordinator, Julian at Fire Over Water Acupuncture. Thank you yet again, Dr. Colbert, for joining us.
Thank you very much, Julian. As you so well explained, the Dutch test is used for women's health. The Dutch test actually stands for Dried Urine Test for Comprehensive Hormones. It's a functional hormone test that provides an in depth look at how the body metabolizes and regulates hormones like cortisol, estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. It's especially helpful for understanding hormonal imbalances that could be affecting fertility, energy levels, and overall well being.
That is amazing. It's pretty much like the shortcut to getting everything at once, it seems.
Yes,
All right, let's start with fertility. So, if you don't mind me asking, how does the Dutch test help someone who's struggling with fertility?
that's a great question, Julian. The Dutch test is valuable for anyone facing fertility challenge. That's because it can provide them with an insight into the key reproductive hormones such as estrogen and progesterone. It helps assess if someone is ovulating properly or if there are issues with progesterone production, which is critical for sustaining a pregnancy. So, additionally, the Dutch test measures stress hormones like cortisol, which can have an direct impact on fertility. And that's because chronic stress and high cortisol levels can disrupt ovulation and contribute to fertility struggles.
Well, that makes a lot of sense, honestly. It's not just about the reproductive hormones, but also how stress plays into it. And the reproductive hormones don't normally just go out of whack, like how many people assume it does. There have to be factors in place to cause it to be either under or overproduced. And I know stress plays a huge role in creating these very symptoms.
Exactly. For example, elevated cortisol levels due to stress can suppress reproductive hormones like the luteinizing hormone, LH, or the follicle stimulating hormone, FSH. Everyone experiences rising levels of cortisol from stressful events, but at least we have a way to show the impact this stress is having on someone's fertility.
It's actually very important because I've observed from so many women's comments online, blogs, vlogs, and even personal loved ones, that many practitioners tend to shift the real physical symptoms that a woman is experiencing to more of like a mental aspect of it, you know, and this is how so many women get dismissed or misdiagnosed till it reaches that critical point where surgery may be needed. Like it always has to go to the extreme, or having to be heavily medicated to reverse or to just mask, some of the issues that could have been caught very early.
Yes, people are making the connection with mental state of well-being affecting their physical health and the ailments that they are dealing with on a daily basis.
Yeah. So that's going to take us to the next part. So let's move on to perimenopause. And I know there are many women who tend to have all kinds of symptoms during this transition. How can the Dutch test actually help with that?
Perimenopause is a tricky time for women because this is when hormone levels start fluctuating. So the Dutch test is beneficial because it shows how estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone levels shift during this stage. So symptoms like irregular periods, mood swings, hot flushes, disturbances can all be linked to these hormonal imbalances.
And I've also heard about estrogen dominance during the perimenopause. Can the Dutch test actually help with detecting that too?
Yes, it can. The Dutch test can indicate whether a woman has estrogen dominance, which happens when there is too much estrogen in relation to progesterone.
Mm.
So the imbalance can lead to symptoms like heavy periods, breast tenderness, and increased PMS. So, by measuring both hormones, the Dutch test helps tailor treatments like bioidentical hormone therapy or lifestyle changes to balance these hormones.
Right. That's some really good information. That will lead us to the next topic, which is menopause. So now on to menopause. How does the Dutch test actually support women going through menopause?
During menopause, the ovaries stop producing significant amounts of estrogen and progesterone, with but the adrenal glands take over part of this hormone production. So
Hmm.
the Dutch test measures adrenal functions by assessing cortisol and DHEA levels, along with estrogen and progesterone. So understanding adrenal function is critical because it can help women manage symptoms like fatigue, anxiety, and insomnia, which are often worse when the adrenals are under a huge strain.
And it's really amazing because I know the adrenals have such a huge role, especially when other organs, whether they malfunction or they underfunction. And that's why I always tend to say, like, for so many people who are addicted to like coffee, and we know at this point, like, especially cheap Dunkin' Donuts coffee or Starbucks can be really taxing for the adrenals. It's like the enemy at that stage, I'm guessing.
Yes, I mean, a lot of people are aware that coffee and caffeine has a huge strain on your adrenal glands, and especially people that have it first thing in the morning. I know there are some people like, no, having bulletproof coffees, it gets them through the day.
Hmm.
But I believe that food is thy source of medicine. So it's your food that gives you the energy to function. So you should eat breakfast because that's a food source that will give you energy to get you through lunch. And if you need a pick me up at 11 o'clock, then I would rather someone have a coffee at 11 than at 8 a.m. in the morning.
That's very true. That's really insightful. So the Dutch test really does help with managing like the hormonal transition and overall well-being during the menopause, correct?
Exactly. It also looks at how well the body metabolizes estrogen. Some forms of estrogen metabolites can increase the risk of conditions like breast cancer. So, understanding those pathways can help in making safe decisions about hormone replacement therapy,
Hmm.
HRT.
Oh, that's a lot of good information. I hope all our viewers are appreciating this. So now we're about to move on to our next topic, which will be adrenal fatigue. So finally, let's talk about adrenal fatigue. How does the Dutch test come to play in here when it comes down to the adrenal fatigue?
Adrenal fatigue often results from prolonged stress, where the adrenal gland can't keep up with the demand for cortisol production. So the Dutch test can track cortisol levels throughout the day, showing if cortisol levels are high when they should be low, and vice versa. So it also measures DHEA, another adrenal hormone, giving a fuller picture of adrenal health.
So for someone who feels like wired but tired or struggles with like energy crashes, a Dutch test could pinpoint the problem.
Yes, it can do exactly that. Absolutely. It identifies whether someone is in the early stages of adrenal overactivity or burnout. With this information, a practitioner can recommend strategies like dietary changes, stress management techniques, lifestyle changes, or targeted supplements to support that adrenal to help reduce those cortisol levels.
That's amazing. And that is honestly a lot of valuable information. So, whether someone is dealing with fertility issues, navigating perimenopause or menopause, or struggling with adrenal fatigue, the Dutch test pretty much provides critical insight to help manage those very transitions. It doesn't leave people feeling like, they're left in the dark, not understanding what's going on with their body.
Exactly. It's a powerful tool for understanding hormone health from a functional perspective, and it really empowers people to make informed decisions about their health.
That is amazing. So, thank you yet again, Dr. Colbert, for breaking that down for everybody watching here. This test, it sounds like it offers a lot of answers, a lot of information when it comes down to complex hormone issues. And this is for the people who are frustrated, bouncing from doctor to doctor, doing so many comprehensive tests and not coming down to that conclusion. And that can leave people feeling a little bit insane after a while. And I'm glad this is the shortcut needed for those who may be feeling that way. So thank you yet again.
My pleasure. I hope more people can benefit from using the Dutch test to get to the root of their health issues and concerns they have. So I wish everyone the best and take advantage.
Definitely. Take care, everybody.
Bye.